Here is 6 food scams that at some point in time you've been told were healthy for you that you need to avoid at all costs. So let's start with the number one most obvious one that drives almost all chronic disease like obesity, diabetes, cancer, depression, fatty liver, acne, and therefore an early death, and that's sugar. Now, the sad thing with sugar is many decades ago, we knew that was the enemy and it needed to be avoided at all costs. And there was a payoff to some scientists to write that fat is the enemy, not sugar. And it took us a long time to recover from that. The problem now is there's hidden sugar in everything. And a lot of people think, well, some sugar in moderation is okay. If it's fruit, yes, that's gonna break down in the body a little differently, especially the low glycemic fruits like your berries and things like that are amazing for your health. You don't need to be scared of that sugar or the sugar in raw organic honey. But in general, if you're not getting sugar from normal whole foods like that, you really want to try and avoid it at all costs because moderation doesn't really exist. You can go and exercise and burn a little bit of it off, but chronic sugar consumption is crushing your health and it will lead you to an early death. We know that for sure. It ruins your gut microbiome. It speeds up the way your cells age. There is no other way around it. Sugar is a scam that is killing you and you need to try and cut it down. Number 2 is refined carbs. This whole push back when I was younger, growing up in the 80s and 90s for white bread and all of this garbage, it's just refined carbs break down into sugar. So we're creating the same problem as number 1. So all the junk foods, fried foods, the snacks, all the sugary treats, you need to get rid of all of this. It's not good for you, again, in moderation. They're simple carbs, which you would think is a good thing, but the more simple a carb is, the easier it is that we break it down, which means the insulin spikes higher. We want carbs that are harder to digest, what we call complex carbs like dietary fibers, because they digest slower, which means we don't get that rapid spike in blood glucose. And it's those spikes in blood sugar that really are driving obesity and inflammation and killing people. So that's not what we want. Number 3, this might be one of the worst scams of all time because it's been pushed in lieu of what's healthy, but it's the seed oils, these nasty rancid seed oils. They are probably the leading cause in things like heart disease and cancer. They're driving all chronic health disease in my opinion. Yet food makers are still allowed to put them in things because they're cheap. Vegetable oil, canola oil, soybean oil, grapeseed oil, sunflower, safflower, all these things are nasty for you. They all promote omega-6, which is our pro-inflammatory fats in the body. We need more omega-3 or anti-inflammatory, and just to show you how bad it is, we should have about a 1-to-1 ratio within our diet and within our body of 3 to 6. No worse than a 1-to-4 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6, because we do need some pro-inflammatory. The average American is between 1 to 25 and 1 to 50. No wonder so many people are inflamed and chronically ill and dying young. We're not evolutionarily matched for them. We need to get rid of them. And unlike sugar, you can't just go and burn these out. From what I'm understanding from some of the research, they're getting into the DNA of your cells and they're just a train wreck. So we don't want to be really anal about necessarily reading labels and avoiding, like, we're still going to eat some bad foods, right? But this is one thing, if I see on a label, if it's vegetable oil or canola oil, throw it out. Like, there's better examples of things you can have. So let's take like chips. There's a brand called Siete that cooks their chips in avocado oil and they make it with arrowroot or cassava flour, which is really good for you. So you don't need to go and get a potato chip cooked in canola oil or veggie oil. There's so many other options for it. So get rid of those seed oils. Hey there, I just wanted to let you know, as a thank you for watching my video, I wanted to send you my free guide on the 13 foods to boost your mood. So you can click in on the link in the description if you want to download that. There's so many people watching this video who are probably suffering with gut health issues, and sometimes even just changing the foods we eat can make all the difference in the world. So that's my free gift to you. Please grab it, take advantage of it. Anyway, back to the video. Number 4, this came about back when the sugar industry were able to say that fat was the problem. It's margarine. This stuff should never have been invented. It should be wiped out off the planet. No one should ever eat margarine. Grass-fed butter is not killing you. Margarine is. It is very high in trans fatty acids, which are the worst kind of fats. It's because it's made from hydrogenated vegetable oils. So now you're getting the nastiest of the seed oils to create the nastiest of the fats. They're actually going to harm you and kill you. There was a great Harvard study that showed eating as little as 3 spoonfuls of margarine a day doubled your likelihood of heart attacks. How many times have you heard, oh, eat margarine is better for you than butter? It's doubling your risk of heart attacks. It's increasing LDL cholesterol, which is the so-called bad cholesterol, and decreasing the good HDL. Now, we know that all LDL isn't bad like we used to think, but some of the bad is in there, so we don't want the combination of dropping HDL and increasing LDL. It's not good. We've even been able to show in the research that breastfeeding mothers who are eating trans fats will have less quality breast milk, and there was one cool study where they looked at Canadian mothers and Chinese mothers, because basically they were able to get a group of Canadian mothers that were eating a lot of these trans fats, and they were able to show that their breast milk was inferior to those of their Chinese counterparts purely because of diet. No other difference was there. They tried to control for all the other variables. It's also been shown to actually lower the efficiency of your immune system with your B and T cells. If all of that doesn't stop you wanting to eat margarine, then I don't know what else will. But that is a massive scam that should never have been allowed to be proliferated in the first place. So eat grass-fed butter, lard, tallow, grass-fed ghee. They are the good quality fats that your body needs. Remember, every cell in your body, the wall of that cell is made of cholesterol. We need cholesterol. We just need it to be the good kind. The 5th one is artificial sweeteners, aspartame and Splenda. These things are a huge scam, and as bad as things like Coca-Cola and soda drinks are for you with all that sugar and high fructose corn syrup, which let's throw high fructose corn syrup in number 1 with sugar, massive scam, never have it. But as bad as those drinks are, the diet versions might be worse with the aspartames and the Splendas. They're getting linked to all sorts of neurological problems like MS, to cancers, to kidney and liver toxicity problems. They're damaging the salivary glands. You just do not have them. So none of those artificial sweeteners. If you need to use a sweetener, use stevia or monk fruit, not aspartame ever. The last scam, and this is one that still is just proliferated to this day, anything with a heart healthy label on it. To get that label, it's paid, it's not earned. Okay, so that's number 1 thing you have to know. It doesn't take into account whether there's GMO foods used, whether it's organic, free of processed chemicals or natural toxins. So if you really want to be heart healthy, you should be eating organic, free of toxins, free of processed chemicals, ideally not GMO. Well, heart healthy label doesn't guarantee you any of that. So some of them might be that, but the vast majority aren't. They're just paying to get this label. The heart healthy label, most of those foods are still going to be full of sugar, full of chemicals. They're going to jack up your inflammation. They're going to jack up your risk of a heart attack. They're not doing what they say they're going to do. So avoid these 6 food scams and you will be in so much better shape. As much sugar as possible, refined carbs, the seed oils, margarine, aspartame and Splenda, the artificial sweeteners, and any food with a heart healthy label. If these kind of tips are something that you feel like you need to know more of, join my free Facebook group. The link's in the description here. I go over these kind of things all the time in there so that people can learn how to be their own health coach and their own doctor without needing other people to do it for them. It's where we help you take accountability and know what's truly good and what's truly a marketing fad that's actually poisoning you, but it's being promoted as healthy. So thank you so much for your attention. Watch out for some of my other videos talking about some different food scams, because there's so many still out there.